One thing I love, and I'll have to admit it's a little bit juvenile, is funny voices. This is something that might be apparent to some of you who have seen the numerous videos I have in my catalogue, especially with the likes of Christian Weston Chandler, Blaze the Movie Fan, Linkara, and even Dylan Guptill. The person we're covering today has an extremely iconic voice, and like Linkara, whom I just mentioned, is also an internet reviewer. Today's subject is the pissed off video gamer, a legendary icon from years ago, although disappointingly this is going to be a much shorter video than I would usually make, which I suppose you'll see why a bit later on, so I could technically say that this video is going to be a very brief introduction into who this legendary reviewer is. The most iconic and notorious video of his that I am sure quite a large majority of you have seen, as it is a masterpiece, is his quote unquote Nintendo shitcube video, where, as you may be able to guess, he does a review of the Nintendo GameCube. The first 10 seconds of this video consists of, and to make this easier I'm going to call him POVG from now on, playing Super Mario and then dying before getting a brief look at him before he does a weird moan. Then, after a cool mid-2000s style Windows Movie Maker intro, we get to see him wielding a broom, and using this broom to point at the Nintendo shitcube, which is of course the most efficient way to direct attention to what you were talking about, and brilliant. The most notable things about this video is his tendency to shout in rage about the shitcube, as well as sitting leant back with his chalice full of orange juice.
And this is what I like to call the Nintendo shitcube. And the reason I call it the Nintendo shitcube, because it's a piece of fucking shit! The fucking shit! The original Nintendo Entertainment System sucked because he had to perform a certain amount of blowjobs on the cartridges in order for the games to work. Take a look at the fucking game. This is a Nintendo GameCube game. This looks like a fucking chocolate chip cookie. Alright, the Nintendo GameCube, it has good graphics, nice hardware, all that graphics, all that hardware. They made the fucking system so small that you cannot even play DVDs on it. Now, the PlayStation 2 sold more than the GameCube because it had a DVD drive.
After all this, it finally climaxes with him destroying the shitcube on camera, an action that would seemingly have great stakes. Although before we get to that, let's cover some of his other videos of this period. The GameCube is not the only console that POVG reviewed, with him also doing a review of the Xbox 360, which he of course dubs the Shitbox 360, although personally I would have called it the Xbox 3 Shitsty, but whatever. Anyway, he mostly notes the infamous Red Ring of Death that was such a huge problem with the console. However, likely the much more noticeable thing is that some of his powers are revealed. As you will soon see, he has laser eyes as well as evil eyes, showing that with these reviews he means business, and you, as well as shit consoles, should be afraid of his wrath.
The Shitbox 360. You can play the original games on the Shitbox 360 from the original console. Some, not all of them. And plus, with the Shitbox 360, there's a certain issue with the red light.
Just a quick little aside, POVG is a master of special effects, perhaps on par with Drakenlord, as you can see from of course the prior clips, as well as this video where he shows off his fire powers. Sadly, there are very few videos from this era remaining, at least that I can find, but in all honesty, I'm a bit of an idiot, so there may be some other videos to find. The videos I did find are just similar game reviews which consist of just basically the same stuff, but also the same shirt. Like, I don't know if it's just a coincidental assortment of videos where they all show the exact same shirt. Maybe he just did them all in one day. It honestly just seems that he likes to wear this shirt as seen in a really weird video that I don't think anyone can even come close to explaining, where it's just a photo collage of him with sad Rocky music playing throughout. But yeah, he's basically wearing the shirt over and over again. So now there's just more mysteries than we started out with, so I've basically just biffed it. Other than these videos, that's it, at least for this little era of content, as he fled the internet as a result of the backlash he got from his Nintendo Shitcube video, and he was not to be seen again. For a little while, as he would return, although with some slight differences, as well as the major revelation that the Nintendo Shitcube video was just a bit and was completely exaggerated. So there you go, as many of you had likely guessed, it's just a bit. But that, at least in my opinion, doesn't make it any less funny, as it seems to be a bit of a satire of the whole internet reviewer thing that was so common during this time, as well as being able to poke fun of himself with a broom, or at least I hope he is. The greatest of these videos from his re-emergence is actually one that's not so different from his original videos. A review of a Robocop game, which he of course dubs, you guessed it, Robodick. This isn't the strangest part of this video, by the way, as something I have to say yet again in this video. For some reason, he's wearing a Homer Simpson mask. Any context? No. Any relation to Robocop? No. It's just a thing he does. This isn't even the last time he did it multiple times. Literally all it did was slightly obstruct his breathing, which is definitely notable at points.
Robodick for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Lord knows how much I fucking hate this shitty ass fucking game. P for Robo Pussy. First level fucking boss. You can't fucking beat him because no matter how many times you fucking shoot him, he keeps blocking your fucking bullets with his hand! Game over. Game over. Game over. Game fucking over!
One thing about POVG is that he is a little bit lustful. Just a little bit. And by saying that, I mean I'm completely lying. In fact, it's essentially one of the few things we know about him. This lustfulness, his love of WWE, his religion, and his hate of YouTube. But, of course, we'll touch on them in a little bit more detail in a moment. So let's talk about his room, which is probably the main thing I can show in this section, as it isn't the clearest, so YouTube won't kill me. Probably. You may notice from the videos I'm currently showing in the background that he has some interesting pictures up on his wall, and this doesn't even include pictures from Bayonetta, in which he has stressed his attraction to, as well as some artwork he had created and put on his Instagram, which featured many a lewd lady, including a very bare picture of Marge Simpson, which is the one I found funniest, although there were many pictures of other women you may be able to find, although not on his Instagram anymore as it has since been deleted. Also things that have been deleted are many of his YouTube channels. POVG will often delete his channels and social media accounts, disappearing again and again due to the hate that followed him, much of which is attributed to the Nintendo Shitcube video, although I think this is likely just due to him making a little bit of an ass of himself. This at one point even led him wanting to move to Vimeo, which, you know, is basically nothing, which shows how much YouTube annoyed him at points.
I've decided to quit YouTube because I found websites such as Vimeo that are better than YouTube, but they're not that popular as YouTube. Anyways, my new home for uploading videos will be Vimeo, Instagram, and Facebook, and other websites besides YouTube. Thank you.
Anyway, the majority of his channels would consist of him talking about WWE and his love of the female form, which came out very clearly in his multiple rants about Paige the wrestler when her videos were leaked a few years ago, which he was very mad about. But other than that, there isn't really anything of note with this little section. Despite his constant channel deletions, he would at one point try to move, change his opinions, and think positively towards the YouTube and more primarily the archives that would keep his videos online, many of which were lost due to his tendency to delete channels and videos. So he came around eventually, although not really. Now, let's talk about roughly where he is now. One genre of video that I've sort of mentioned is his videos based on religion, which would be the occasional videos on his past channels, but now seem to be his only videos when he sometimes returns and of course makes videos again. And sadly, it's just him essentially quoting the Bible. Is this funny in a story arc way? Absolutely. He's a horned up game reviewer with a broom to point at consoles and then is dedicated to religion. But is it funny in a content way? Not at all. They're just dull. Literally just him reading from a script with no goofiness or love, just his iconic voice. And this is kind of just where we leave it, which is how I felt when researching this video. It just kind of ends.